Retirement is such an interesting experiment, I'm going to say. It's such a time to reinvent ourselves if we want to. And when I first retired, I really wanted to drop what I had been doing just to kind of see where the pieces fell. Over time, I found that there were some of the routines that I had when I was working that worked perfectly fine, and in fact, I needed when I was retired, and some that I just let go. In this video, I'm going to talk about some of those things, some of the routines that I ditched, and some that I reinstated. A sleep routine is something that I never gave up. I pretty much try to go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time. It's important to get enough rest. I know this for the health benefits, and I don't sleep as well as I used to. You may have encountered that too as you've gotten a little older. Let me know in the comments. So I do try to go to bed and get up at the same time, or approximately the same time. That's the difference every day. And that was kind of natural for me anyway. But what I don't do anymore, at least unless I absolutely have to, is set an alarm. One of the most precious treats of retirement for me is being able to get up when I naturally wake up. It is such a, like I say, a treat. And I think it's good for our health, especially as, we're trying to get enough rest. Not having an alarm set or having a very strict structure has benefited me, and that is something that I have stopped doing, unless I have to, of course. I will set an alarm, of course. But for the most part, I don't set an alarm. I get up when I naturally wake up. Getting ready. I just did a video on this. I will link it below if you didn't see it, if you'd like to watch it. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but the short story is, at first I didn't get ready, but I found that when I got ready for my day, I had a better day. It just kind of sets you up for what it is that you want to do and makes it easier for you to do what you want to do. It just sort of adds structure to the day, and it is something that I'm enjoying doing now because I get to get ready how I want to get ready and for the day that I choose. So getting ready is a keeper for me. For years, I have gotten up and put on my exercise clothes and tried to get some exercise routine, whatever it is, done in the morning. And of course, I used to do this before work. Now, the time is not as structured, but I still get up and put my exercise clothes on, and it encourages me to get some exercise done in the morning. Even if it's only a half an hour, even if it's just some light stretching or a full-on gym workout, I just feel better when I do it. So this one, I never even bothered to change. I just kept on doing it. Then the challenge was not staying in those exercise clothes all day. Head back to, I finally started to get ready in the morning again. The house cleaning and chore rituals. When I was working, every Sunday I did the laundry, I went shopping, I did food prep for the week, and did some housekeeping. More on food prep in a minute. And when I retired, I really thought that I was going to really get into cleaning the house, and Wednesday was going to be baseboard day and Thursday was going to be bathroom day. I had all these imaginings of becoming this terrific housekeeper. Those days never happened. Now our house is clean. It's clean enough. But I thought, I really thought I was going to really get into it, and I really didn't. And this YouTube channel might be why. I do still consider myself retired. This YouTube channel is a business. I do hope to make some money from it, but our financial plan doesn't depend on it. So I do still consider myself retired, but it's a little bit different because I do take this YouTube channel seriously, and so I still try to have some structure. And I think that the creativity and fun of this sort of took over the housekeeping. Yeah, YouTube's a lot more fun. But actually, I enjoy housekeeping. And so this is something that I have started to try to restructure again. I have found that there's been a return to Sunday laundry day. I just kind of like it. So that one just sort of naturally came back. And then the food prep. This is very interesting. I've had to watch my weight most of my life, and I try to eat healthy and prepare healthy foods for myself and also for my husband. And I was so diligent about it when I was working. Every Sunday I went to the grocery store and I would prep food so that I had a lunch to bring or dinner and then some leftovers for lunch. I was in the habit of having a big green salad, and I would vary the vegetables and lettuce greens, and then I would put some chicken on it or maybe some beans and garbanzo beans, some kind of a protein on it. I had that for lunch every day, or mostly every day, often. Or leftovers from dinner, which was usually some kind of a protein, a starch, and a vegetable, just a good old meal, but it was good food. Well, when I retired, I kind of let that slide, again thinking that maybe a new routine would emerge. I definitely wanted to give myself some time to see if a new routine would come out naturally that was better than my old work routines. And none really did on this one. I thought I was going to be so much more fit after I retired because I wasn't chained to a desk all day. That didn't happen. I slacked off on my exercise and slacked off on the healthy food prep, and I actually gained some weight. So the old work routine of having a day, whether it be Sunday or some other day, to pay attention, make sure that there's healthy food in the fridge to eat, I think needs to come back. It needs to be reinstated. Because without it, I find I'm snacking on junk food and not eating a good nutritious meal. Checking emails. I check emails maybe once a day. When I was working, I found I was being just buried in emails. They are a great tool, but what I found is that they kind of became the junk food of communication, and people are just firing off emails all day long and needing a response and firing off the next email. And I was just doing emails all day long, and it really drove me crazy. So when I retired, I kind of put my foot down on it. If someone needs to get a hold of me, they know how to call me, or I will look at a text. And I do check my emails, and especially if maybe I'm working on a project with the volunteer group, then definitely I pick up and I check my emails. But I don't kind of chain myself to them like I did when I was working, and I just don't think it's necessary, at least not for me. Keeping up with my old industry. This I have not really done. I've been retired coming up on 3 years now, and the last job I had, I did environmental compliance. And so my job was to make sure I was up on all the regulations, what's happening and those kinds of things. I am still very much interested, but I think that where I want to put my energy has shifted. I mean, let's face it, studying regulations is not super fun. I did actually kind of enjoy it a little bit, honestly, but it's not super exciting. So I haven't really kept up with my industry in that way. I'm really interested if any of you have retired. Have you kept up with your industry? Now for me, environmentalism, and I kind of hate to use that word because I think that I am a common sense environmentalist, and that's where I'm sort of headed now. I even started another YouTube channel. If you're interested, I'll link it below. It's just about small things that you can do in your everyday life that are small changes, but that can make a difference in the long run. So again, I'll link that below if you're interested. But I guess what I would say is that the focus that I'm focusing on, if that makes sense, has shifted a little bit. And I think that that's interesting. What I really love about retirement is the opportunity to allow our minds to expand again and shift again and change again, and hopefully for the better. And similarly with the floral industry and cake decorating, which is what I did before and then before. I don't really keep up with the trends, but those are a little easier to see because you see them more in everyday life. But I still love to do flowers, and even cake decorating sometimes too. Staying in touch with my old colleagues. Well, it's funny because many of my friends came from working. So yes, for me, there are a handful of people that I stay in touch with and that I see. So for me, yes, I have retained some of my work friends. And what I found is that I have made some new friends in different places, like through volunteer work and also at the health club that we go to. So that's really been interesting too, because it's fun to meet different people who have different interests. So for me, some of my routines I reinstated, and honestly, it probably is because I just didn't want to think of a new one and they worked perfectly fine, so why reinvent the wheel? But some have shifted. I'm really curious. If you're retired, did you keep your old routines? Did you end up with new routines? I think it's a fun time and a fun conversation to have, so let me know in the comments if you'd like to share. Thank you for watching this video. Leave me any other comments below, and I hope you have a beautiful day.